Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubadas. Welcome to the show. We got episode 1414, auspicious number here. It's our daily study of the Srimad Bhagavatam here with Miss Mara spinning the dials. We got Bhakti Udi and Catherine A in the background of Super Soul Farm. We're getting ready for our New Jersey, Philadelphia tour. Me and Mara, we're packing it up, hitting the road. First stop, Tom's River today. Mara, any good announcements? Anything up happening?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Join Wisdom of the Sages for our spiritual pilgrimage to sacred India, October 17th through 31st.
That's running. We're running out of time with that one. If you didn't sign up for that one, you better do it.
Get serious.
Today.
Yep. We're going to Jodhpur, Udaipur, Nathwar, Rishikesh, Haridwar, and Govardhan, Vrindavan.
What?
You can sign up at wisdomofthesages.com or go to raghunath.yoga.
Also, that day of the Wisdom of the Sages retreat, Columbus Day weekend, that Friday, we're going to do a one-day. No one knows about this. You're like, what are we doing?
I don't know about this.
You don't know about this either.
We're
doing a Bhakti Recovery Day, and Jiva G is going to be with us. And so, if you want to come, you can come a day early, and we'll have Bhakti Recovery going, and have a nice lunch together, and work the steps.
You mean like the Friday building up to that evening?
Yeah, people usually show up after 3 or 4 or 5, you know. So from the morning on, we'll have.
So if you want to come earlier, then you can
come early for Bhakti Recovery. Yeah.
Wow.
There's no way to sign up as of now. Okay. But if you're interested, you might want to just email Mara. Whew. Well, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Here's our nugget, sir.
Who's it
ready?
from?
It's from Brendan Bouchard. Oh, I know who that is.
Do you?
Yeah, he's like a life coach guy.
Yeah, I didn't know who he is.
LA life coach guy.
Okay, he's an author, high performance coach, and motivational speaker.
Like, there's no room for just like having a life where you take it easy, like some sadhu, just chanting. You got to be a high performance sadhu. We think that's happier. You know what? That's the problem with a lot of this stuff. We think that the mode of passion is happiness, and you're just not being passionate enough. You're right. I'm not. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. See, I don't think high performance would be good for you, Kostuba. You got your groove. It's nice. It's slow moving.
Well, maybe I am performing on a high level in certain areas, right?
Huh? Yeah, you are. It is. It is. But it's not. It's not like. I feel like these guys are trying to just amp you up, you know, and you're not doing enough yet.
It's a little artificial, you think?
I think so. I think people nowadays confuse like the mode of passion and perfectly organized mode of passion where you got to be completely precise with your time and your day, and it's just like wind to new levels of stress.
Sometimes there are those things for kids, like you can get your kid learning 75% more than other kids are learning. Well, maybe my kid doesn't need to learn 75% more than other kids are learning. Maybe they just need to have a nice childhood for their.
They need a tree fort. They need a tree fort. They need to play in the backyard. They need to take off their shoes. They need their father to build a tree fort with them. They need to wrestle with their dad, and they need to do stuff with their mom. You know, it's just like they do have these things. What do they call Little Einstein or something like that? You got to get your kids smarter quicker.
Yeah. To
prepare them for the workforce.
Slow it down a little.
Slow it down. I like your performance. Your performance.
Thank you.
I think
satisfied with your performance
that
as well.
Do want that high performance, and they're good at it. Anyway, now that I've totally taken down this guy,
but there's something here. There's something.
No, he's smart. He's insightful. He's a good guy.
Okay.
To inspire a singularity of focus.
Hold it, just 1 second. Did you study this guy? Like, did you want to be one of these guys?
No, one of my friends, a devotee, is like she's his like life coach.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. So I've just looked at his stuff, and
Gotcha.
I might even follow him on Instagram.
Actually,
Actually, I've given him $18,000 to coach me to be high performance, and it's not working.
All my little sayings are actually his. I'm just claiming them. Okay, what's he got to say?
He says, to inspire a singularity of focus, a challenge must be important to you. And it must be something you feel you should do now in this moment.
Okay.
If it is trivial or not time-bound, you won't engage. So in selecting your next challenge in life, choose one that is meaningful, and it will demand your complete concentration.
Nice. Thoughts, Roger. Thoughts.
Let me hear your thoughts on this.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, actually.
Okay.
First of all, we had a nice interview with Keshava Swami on Sunday.
How did that go? I didn't listen to it.
It was really nice, really nice. And I asked him, my first question to him was like, okay, you've taken up this life as a lifelong vow as a monk, right? And what is it that you're tasting in this kind of simplified life that makes you satisfied and makes you enthusiastic to get out of bed every morning, when most people are getting out of bed for something else? They're pursuing other types of goals. What is it that you're tasting in this life of renunciation?
It's sort of like you got nothing to do. Why wake up?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So he said two things: simplicity and focus. And he said, although, and we'll talk about this on the show today, although a householder, a person with a job and a family and a home and all that, the bhakti path does show how you can kind of bring that all into a one-pointed focus. The life of the monk is just like really geared for that, right? You just strip it all down, and everything in your life is focused on one point. He said he finds that very satisfying. There's something about that in life that he finds really satisfying. And I think that that's true. Now, so this person is saying, probably to perform on a high level, you need the singularity of focus. And he says, he's saying, I agree that we should have that in life. There should be some purpose, some principle that is so glorious and beautiful and satisfying that we focus everything on it. He's saying it shouldn't be trivial. We could understand that as it shouldn't be within the mundane realm, right? It shouldn't be something that is that is less important than the highest principle. It should be, we should rise it up to the highest principle. And it should, and he says it has to be time bound. There has to be a certain urgency in it. These are all, as bhakti yogis, we kind of apply these ideas, right?
It's interesting, Kostuba.
Yeah.
I think when a lot of people think of monks, they think of some guy sitting under a tree, and he goes over to the river, takes his bath in the morning. He comes back and, reads a little from an old book. We know a lot of high performance monks. You know what I mean? They all are authors themselves. They are like incredibly functional in this world. They would be running corporations if they hadn't given up everything. We know a lot of those. There are these monks that actually do what would appear to be nothing. Ever meet a monk like that?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they're monks too. They're very.
You take my guru, for instance, right? Like this was
he was a high performance monk.
You want to talk about high performance, right? Like he went to Southern Methodist University, which is like kind of like a Harvard of the Southwest or of Texas, like that, right? It's like a high level, high performance school, very competitive to get into. And I assume that school probably has at least a century or so of been around that long. And so there's a lot of students that have been. I think it probably has about 10,000 students at a time.
Yeah.
So millions of students have gone through that school.
Yeah.
And in one sense, you could say he became the most decorated of all the students in the history of that school. In the sense that the highest award, he won many awards there for different papers that he wrote. But the highest award that one can receive at the school as a student is, I think it's called the Senior Student Award, where all the professors vote on who should win the Senior Student Award, like who's the most
right
elevated, successful, high performance student. And he was, in the history of the school, he was the only one to ever win it unanimously.
Wow.
So that was like
he was high performance.
His level of performance.
But we know some other swamis that are not high performance, that are just sort of
okay.
like, and I think
lazy swamis out there.
There's a beauty in that as well too.
Yeah.
They're not high performance, but they have a focus. Yeah, I feel like in order to succeed in bhakti, probably in the material world as well, you need to have a drive, a passion, an offering that you're excited to wake up for. It's not just like cashing out and moving to Italy, or cashing out and no, that's not a dig at the chief and Lori who are thinking about moving to Italy, but cashing out and moving to the tropics where you're not going to work and not going to. It's not laziness. You still need a focus, a why that you're waking up in the morning, and that why should be connected to your offering to God. Not just have mundane, banal meaning in this world, but just it should be rich and significant, and you should be excited to do it. And if we don't have that, whether we're practicing bhakti or not, you may want to think about it. It not only helps your health, it helps it helps your longevity. They say the research is in it helps you live long, and
happier.
It gives you a type of happiness. Yeah.
With they say depression it largely has to do with this lack of meaning in life, right? Yeah. Whether you're wealthy or not is not so much what determines it. It's like, does your life have meaning?
Right. And we can sit in an ambivalence for a while. I don't know what to choose, but oftentimes you got to move. Taking a step forward is the first way to find out, and that might not be the thing that you do forever, but you got to move forward in a educated direction. Not just like, I'm just going to go forward here. You got to use your intelligence. You might want to bounce off a few consultants, friends, mentors, gurus, etc. But ultimately, you got to choose. I'm going to go in this direction, and I'm going to move in this direction, and that might lead you to something completely different. But at least you're moving, and you're not getting stuck in this analysis paralysis, which happens a lot. We just spin our wheels. And I've seen devotees do this too, who practice bhakti, but they really feel like they have some offering that they're giving back to. And they just almost become like a temple community member where I just go to the temple and it's just more like a social gathering. But
they may need a vision, someone to help them with a vision of how to integrate their entire life to this highest purpose.
And it doesn't have to be a grand vision as well. Like, well, we're going to take over the world, build 108 temples. It can be like, I'm going to raise my kids to be a certain way, instill a certain type of values in them, give them a particular life experience. It could be, actually, I want to go to Vrindavan and open a temple, or I want to open a temple or a little center, or once a week, I want to have a program at my house where I invite the community.
Those are in one sense, that's the external challenge, right? Or the external purpose, but it's all to serve this one central internal focus, that my nature, which is divine love for God and for every living being, is lying there dormant, and it needs to be awoken, awakening that and that arising. That's, in one sense, that's the highest challenge. That's the real purpose that we're waking up for every day. And that may be expressed in grand ways or in simpler ways, but that's the goal, right?
There should be an excitement. We should get such a taste for chanting that we're excited to wake up to chant for our meditational practice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember being a brahmachari, there was an excitement to go see the deities in the morning.
Mangal Arati, yeah.
Yeah, the early morning arati happens at 4:30 in the temple. There's an excitement. Oh, they get running downstairs.
How will they be dressed? Who's going to be leading the kirtan?
It's exciting. It's like a little parade. Who's going to sing in the parade?
Yeah, yeah. So in Bhakti, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is going to say that, you know, he's going to speak about this aim being one, that taking your entire life and getting it focused on this point, not being diverted into so many different trivial goals in life. Have one profoundly spiritual goal, and then learn how to focus all of your life's activities towards that goal.
Sure.
That now you have a powerful spiritual program.
Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one, O son of the Kurus.
Those who are irresolute are many branched.
Those who are irresolute, their intelligence is many branched. It's going in all different directions. What if I did this? What if I did this? Or this?
Yeah, I need to satisfy this person. I need to satisfy that person. I need to.
No, you know what?
It's like one person.
It's like all those cords behind your desk. Get those zip ties and zip them up. Yeah. Zip up those cords. Zip it up.
Zip it.
Zip. All right.
Zip it.
On with the show.
Okay.
Narayanam namaskrityanam shaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nicham bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnana Janasalakaya Chaksurun Midamnena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes. With the torchlight of knowledge, I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Text 62. I just remembered. Remembered I had a dream. I was in South India yesterday. That's what I woke up to.
Where in South India?
You know where we were? You know where we were? In Udupi. Udupi.
Oh. Who's we?
Not you.
Who? It's okay. Raghunath, I don't feel left out that I wasn't in your dream. Okay, I'm all right.
I think some newer students was taken to Udupi, and I can't remember. I just remember the temple.
Okay.
Anyway, it's good. Dream.
Nice. Okay, so we're at text. What was it? 62 today?
Could have been because of that South Indian echocardiogram taker.
Oh. Oh, the Carolyn.
Where is it? Karnataka? Udupi? I think it's
Udupi is in Karnataka.
Karnataka.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. Text 62.
Yeah, so now we're going to get Narada again wrapping things up. We're hearing about real and unreal and how the world is real and how it's unreal and so on. Now he's going to talk about seeing a oneness, Raghunath, a singularity, right? A singularity of focus. That there's a way to see with oneness, and really there's three types of oneness. Yeah. That if we can embody this type of, he says there's three. He's going to speak of three types of oneness. One is a oneness in our conceptions, a oneness in our actions, and a oneness in our objectives.
Conceptions, actions, objectives.
Yeah, those will be the next three verses after this one. Why don't you go ahead and read 62?
After considering the oneness of existence, activity, and paraphernalia, we use that word a lot, don't we? Paraphernalia.
Here, the word paraphernalia, I had to look at this a bit. And, like paraphernalia means like an object. And here, when it says oneness and paraphernalia, I think we can understand as oneness in, like when we think of object, we generally think of a thing. But our object can also be like our goal, like our objective. You with me?
Yeah.
So that word paraphernalia may be a little confusing to us, but a oneness in our activity. Here he says oneness in our existence, and that's really going to speak to our conceptions, a oneness in our activities, and a oneness in our objective. You like the word paraphernalia, don't you?
I think it's a peculiar word, truthfully.
Up until this point, it was only used for drug paraphernalia.
Yeah, I guess in our life, drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
But here it's like they always talk about Lord descends with his paraphernalia.
Yeah. Originally, the word had to do
paraphernalia. Yeah. It's like a head shop. They have a bunch of paraphernalia.
Yeah, a bunch of drug paraphernalia in there.
All right. Anyway,
you have drugs in him? No, but he had drug paraphernalia.
They pulled him over. He had drug paraphernalia. Right. After considering the oneness of existence, activity, and paraphernalia, and after realizing the self to be different from all actions and reactions, the mental speculator, the Muni, according to his own realization, gives up the 3 states of wakefulness, dreaming, and sleep.
Okay, so those are 3 materialistic states of awareness. Three.
Gives up the 3 states of wakefulness, dreaming, and sleep. Those are the 3 states.
And enters into the, let's say, transcendent consciousness, right?
Dreaming is different than sleep.
Yeah, because there's deep sleep where there's no dream.
Huh. Where you're just like zonked out.
Then yeah.
Sort of active REM sleep.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's rapid eye movement. I don't think would be the deep sleep. I think that would be the dreaming state.
I think that's the dreaming state.
Yeah. And then when the eyes wouldn't be moving, you'd maybe be in that deep sleep. Where you're
very interesting, isn't it?
Oh, the yogis speak a lot about these 3 different states.
Yeah.
But here and so this is a yogic verse in that sense, right? It's using the terminology that the yogis use. Narada, he's a great yogi in that sense. And he's saying that if we see a certain type of, if a Muni, a thinker, right? Not everybody's a thinker in life. They're not pondering these things. They're just pursuing sense enjoyment in life. No, but if you're a thinker, then you can look and you can see a oneness in conception, which the next verse will speak to, a oneness in our actions and a oneness in our objectives. When you begin to see all that oneness, then your awareness can rise above the materialistic levels of awareness. Your consciousness can be elevated to that transcendental state. Even while you're working in this world, this is really where Narada is going here, right? Because like Yudhishthira has been hearing all of this kind of talk about how the world is unreal in one sense, and well, I'm a king and I got all kind of responsibilities and I got to deal with this world. Okay, you can deal with this world, but see a oneness in it, right? The king has to make distinctions. You're following the law and you're not, this is good for the nation and this is bad for the nation. And we have this we're going to deal with this nation in one way and we're going to deal with this nation in another way. It's all like duality. He's saying in your world of duality, concentrate on a certain type or certain types of oneness. And when you're connected to that oneness, when you're seeing that oneness, when you're experiencing that oneness, even though you're in this world and doing all these worldly duties, your awareness is going to be on that higher level.
All right. Let's see. What's next?
So this next verse will have to do with the oneness and conception.
When one understands that the result and cause are one, when one understands that the result and cause are one, and that duality is ultimately unreal, like the idea that the threads of a cloth are different from the cloth itself, one reaches the conception of oneness called Bhavadvaita. Bhavadvaita.
Just keep chanting it, we'll get there. So this
it's a good analogy. The threads and the cloth are one.
Yeah, in one sense, the threads are the cause of the cloth, right? There's no cloth without the thread. Aristotle had 4 principles of causality. There's 4 types of cause. And one is called the material cause. What something is made of is its cause. And so a cloth is made of the threads. And it's in the Upanishads and in the Puranas, we hear this term otam protam. And earlier in the Bhagavatam, we heard about it too. Otam protam means like the lengthwise and the length and the breadth. You have two threads. One is going this way and one is going this way, and you weave a cloth out of it. And so, this got brought up, remember back in the 6th canto, where the Yamadutas, they were coming for, the messengers of Yamaraj, the god of death, who judges you and sentences you to do a hard time in the lower planets. So the Yamadutas were coming for a Jamil, and they're pulling his soul out of his body. And then the Vishnu Dutas came and said, no, because he's chanted the name of Lord Narayan, the name of Lord Vishnu, you can't take him down to the judge.
I hope the Vishnu Dutas come for me. Please don't let Yamadutas show up.
Well, with that big Tulsi necklaces you have on, Raghunath, the Yamadutas can't touch you. Really?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Although they could fall off.
At the time of death, something happens. No! Yeah, you can't cheat the system.
Okay. So the Yamadutas went back to Yamaraj, the powerful demigod, and was like, what is going on here? Nobody ever stopped. You're the king around here. You're the top guy. We carry out your orders. Nobody's supposed to be able to interfere with us carrying out your orders. What's going on? And this is 6th canto, 3rd chapter, text 12. Yamaraj says, my dear servants, these are like these ogres, right? Or almost like, what are those things that they have on the buildings? The gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Yeah, they're like, really twisted faces and brutal characters, right?
Yeah. Terrific.
And Yamaraj says, my dear servants, you have accepted me as the supreme, but factually I'm not. Above me and above all other demigods, including Indra and Chandra, is the one supreme, master and controller. The partial manifestations of his personality are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are in charge of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this universe. Right? Those are the guna avatars. He, that supreme that's above it all, he is like the two threads that form the length and breadth of a woven cloth. The entire world is controlled by him, just as a bull is controlled by a rope in its nose. Oof. And so then in the commentary, Prabhupada says, Madhvacharya, the great philosopher and teacher, explains that the words otam protam refer to the cause of all causes. The Supreme Lord is both a vertical and horizontal to the cosmic manifestation. And this is confirmed in the Skanda Purana. Yata Kanta Pata Sutra, Ota Prota Chasasitah. Like the two threads, horizontal and vertical, of which a quilt is manufactured, Lord Vishnu is situated as the vertical and horizontal cause of the cosmic manifestation. So seeing this oneness means seeing, as I move through this world, my body, my home, my place of occupation, the people, the bodies of the people that I'm in contact with, even the souls, everything is all the energy of one being. There's a oneness, right? There's one source that is the material cause of the world that I'm operating in. If that is the case, then my relationship to that being is the most fundamental facet of my life. And with that vision, one can begin to see reality. One can begin to see above what here in this verse it was saying, these three states of wakefulness, dream, and sleep. One can actually begin to see truth. Bhagavad Gita speaks so much about this, yeah?
Yeah.
7th chapter. Did you write a song about that?
Yes, I did. Knowledge of the absolute.
Knowledge of the absolute. The 6th chapter ends with Krishna telling Arjuna that Arjuna was kind of worried. You just spoke about what it's like to be an Ashtanga yogi in chapter 6. And it sounds very difficult to do. Right? I don't think I can do it. Where you sit in one place and you entirely focus the mind on one object. He says the mind is more difficult to control than the wind. I don't think I can do it. What now? And then Krishna responds by saying, don't worry, you can still be a yogi. As a matter of fact, what is it? Yoginam api sarvesham, amongst all the different types of yogis that are out there, many different schools of yoga. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antar atmana, the one that abides with me and is always meditating on me, thinking of me within. What is it? Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antar atmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam, with great faith, worshiping me and serving me with love. Samay yukta tamo mataha. They're yukta tamo. These yogis are the most connected. That is how I see it. Right?
This is a good verse for everybody's homework today. Last verse of the 6th chapter, after all this really detailed way of how to sit, how to meditate, how to concentrate, how to focus on your nose, and how to keep your eyes sort of closed, and your appropriate posture. Finally, Arjuna's like, I can't do this. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior in the world. We're warriors in the world. We're out there. We're not isolated. We're not celibate living in caves. We're in the world with families. Read this verse. It's all about you, for the most part. And not only it's not even like be a pretty good yogi. Be second best. Be third string. Of all the topmost yogi, he's saying, is one who's developed a method to work in this world where you can't stop thinking of Krishna. You're always connected.
You're seeing him everywhere.
That's what this whole process is. You see Krishna everywhere.
Yeah.
It seems like, well, this is too easy. We should have to isolate ourselves. We should have to do all these penances. I should have to renounce my clothing and just wear a little skirt around, right? Like a little skirt. I should have to grow my hair out if I could and not comb it and never use deodorant. No, it's actually being in this world. It's a training of being in this world, but not of this world. It's designed specifically for you. You know why? Arjuna was in this world.
Yeah.
Arjuna had a very big job. He was like a hero. He was like a royalty. He was a warrior, and he was in this world, and he was close to Krishna. And after Krishna instructed that, because some people are attracted to that lifestyle, he said, well, actually, it's a little difficult. And then Krishna said, I got you covered. If you want the highest thing, it's really simple.
Yeah. Arjuna just kept thinking that that's what it means to be a yogi, to be like that kind of yogi. And Krishna, for chapter after chapter, is trying to say, no, there's another way to engage in yoga. And Arjuna just wasn't hearing it. In the 6th chapter, he says, okay, you want to practice Ashtanga yoga? Let me lay it all out for you. You want to see what it's like? And then Arjuna said, okay, I can't do that. And then what that did, Arjuna's realization that type of yoga is a rare soul, particularly in this age, that can do that. What to speak of us people with worldly responsibilities? When he finally realized, I can't practice that way, it opened up for the next 6 chapters, which are the bhakti chapters. So when Krishna says, no, it's the one that's always thinking of me with love inside, that sees me everywhere, that is the highest yogi. Then the natural question would be, well, how can I see you everywhere, Krishna? How can I see you everywhere? How can I think of you always? And the first verse of the 7th chapter is Krishna says, hear from me, Arjuna. How by practicing yoga.
Hear from me, and you will know all knowledge to be known. The joyous wisdom.
It's like a musical.
Of the soul. Just hear and watch it all unfold. This song is sort of like a musical type of song.
Yeah.
but it's the 7th chapter, and now it's the next 6 chapters all about bhakti, 7 through 12.
Yeah, just hear from me and you could know me in full, free from doubt.
Yeah.
And then what does he say? Text 2, do you know? I shall now declare this knowledge
in full, both phenomenal and numinous.
Both the material and the spiritual.
Thus being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
And then what does he say next?
Next he says, Raja Vidya. This knowledge.
No.
Oh, no. That's 9th chapter.
Yeah.
He says, Bhumir apona lovayu.
Almost right in between.
At 4.
Text 3.
Oh, you froze.
Manushyanam.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of many thousands among men, only one will out of many thousands, only one will endeavor for perfection. And out of those who reach perfection, only one will know me in truth. Maybe one will know me in truth, meaning there's nuances of perfection.
Yeah.
And out of all those who reach some perfected state, to know Krishna, that's even more rare. Such a cool chapter.
Okay. And so then the question,
Krishna breaks down.
How are we going to see you everywhere? Well, Krishna will say, well, everything that you see is my energy, right? Well, before that's gone a little bit further down the road, but first, the ingredients that make all of that up.
The ingredients that make all that up: Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kamana, Buddhir, Evacha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. All that you're looking around and seeing and gripping and grabbing and smelling.
And even those subtle elements of mind, intelligence, and ego.
That's all my external energy.
Okay. And then?
Text
5.
Text 5.
Besides
these. Yeah. Besides these, what's the first word in Sanskrit?
Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna.
Sanskrit.
Aparayang mitastfanyang.
Oh, aparay.
Prakritim vidime param. Jiva bhutam mahabaho. Yayedam daryate jagat.
Yeah. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which is transcendental and is exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature.
So that's us, the spiritual energy, the little sparks of spiritual energy that are trying to enjoy the material energy.
We're higher than we're higher than that material energy. We're actually noticing the material energy. We're watching that Bhumira Pona Lovayu change, and we're witnessing it. And then where do they come from?
Right, text 6. You're about to jump ahead. I have a feeling. All created beings.
All created beings have their source in these two natures, and know for certain
that all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both.
They both come from me.
That I'm both its origin and dissolution.
I'm both its origin. Okay.
So I am those threads, right? The material thread and the spiritual thread woven together. Everything that you're seeing is my energy. And then comes that super important verse, text 7.
First word, please.
You want the Sanskrit?
Yeah.
Mata.
Mata parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre mana gana iva.
O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna.
O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna. Everything rests upon. There's no truth superior to me.
That's right.
Right? There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread.
Okay.
You look at pearls, they look like they're just going around your neck, hovering there. They're not hovering. There's an invisible thread tying them all together.
That's right.
This whole world appears like it's just happening. It's not happening. There is an invisible thread stringing this whole thing together, this entire universe, entire planets, the cosmos, the earth, the microbes, your body. It's an invisible force. It appears one way.
And Krishna's saying, I am that force, right? All of this energy is my energy, both spiritual and material. And I'm also the one that's woven it all together, that's holding it all together. There's no principle beyond me. I'm the cause of all causes. When you've reached me, you've reached the end of the line. I'm the source of it all. I'm the one holding it all together.
Now, you might read that the first couple verses and say, when Krishna says, I'm going to tell you both everything phenomenal and numinous. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. After this, you don't need to know anything. Like, what are you going to tell me? It's these three things. There's spirit, there's matter, and both of these come from me.
Super spirit.
That's everything. That's everything right there in a nutshell.
Okay, now with that, as I'm moving through this world made of material energy, how am I going to see you so that I'm thinking of you all the time?
Well, we're going to break it down, make it easy for you. I'm the ever have fresh spring water?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the taste of water.
I'm the taste of water. When you drink water, this is Krishna.
You can think of Krishna. You see, it's a beautiful day. The sun is rising. I am the light of the sun, and I'm also the light of the moon.
Okay.
I'm the syllable Om in Vedic mantras. Every Vedic mantra starts with right? I'm the syllable Om. I'm the syllable Om.
Sound.
I'm the sound in ether, and I'm the ability in man.
Text 9.
Balam balavatam jaham kama raga vivarjitam.
That's not text 9.
No, it's not. What is it?
Punyo ganda.
Punyo. I'm the fragrance of the earth.
I'm the heat and fire.
The heat and fire.
I'm the life of all that lives.
Jivanam sarvabhut. No.
Jivanam sarvabhuteshu.
Bhuteshu.
Tapas.
Tapas. I'm the austerities of all ascetics. Tapas vishu.
Bijam.
Bijam. Sarvabhuteshu.
Sarvabhutanam. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam.
Okay.
I'm the original seed of all existence.
The original seed of all. I'm the strength of the strong.
Not yet.
Devoid of passion and desire.
Vidhi partha sanatanam. Try to understand, O Partha. Budhir buddhimatam asmi.
I'm the
intelligent of the intelligence. I'm the power of the powerful. Tejas vinam aham. So like this, the seventh chapter unfolds. I'm the strength of the strong.
Okay, maybe everybody should read the last verse of the 6th chapter, and at least half the 7th chapter.
7th chapter. Let's see.
What does that go till? Verse.
It goes to
15 or something. When it gets to the Gyanis.
It goes till 11, but you could go ahead and take it till 12. Know that all states of being, be they in goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I'm in one sense everything, and yet I'm independent. I'm not under the modes of material nature. They, on the contrary, are within me.
Similar, you're looking for a little homework today.
Right?
Homework. Stacy Cabrera, Eileen Shovelin. You get in the homework today. Carla, this is for you too. You can read it. You can read it to Ramit in the car on the way down or on the train. It's the last verse of the 6th chapter, and then up to verse 12. Bart, I know you have some time today. You can put a little time aside. Saraswati.
Hey, everybody, make a little time.
Martine, a little time today.
So this is what text 62 is calling Bhava-dvaita, a oneness in conceptions. Everything that I'm seeing, everything that I'm interacting with is one with Krishna, because it is Krishna's energy. Krishna is the material cause. He is, and again, if there's a lengthwise thread and a breadthwise thread, you could say one is material energy, the other is spiritual energy, and they're woven together in this world into the tapestry that we call the material world. One who moves through the world, never forgetting that. If you see, we forget it. We see another body in the world and we say, I want that. We see another object in the world. I want that. We forget that that is all Krishna, as my body is made of Krishna, as my energy is made of Krishna, that actually it's all Krishna's energy. And we're thinking we're going to find the happiness through. It's interesting how that text 5, just how it kind of defined it all, right? Besides the material energy, Raghunath, Arjuna, Raghunath and myself, besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there's another Padam Prakritim. There's a higher energy. There's a higher nature. There's a higher energy of mind which comprises the living entities, Jiva Bhutam, the souls, right? Well, what do we know about these souls as they move through this material world? What are they all about?
They're just trying to exploit the material world.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to find happiness through external sources.
Read the whole verse.
Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there's another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. They're trying to find happiness through something inferior to themselves. That's what we're
It's
doing.
almost funny, isn't it? We're like, I
Sad.
gotta I gotta dig here and grab this and build this and extract this.
Why don't we read the Prabhupada's purport? We could end with this today, right?
Purport in the Bhagavatam or in the
Purport to 7.5 of the Bhagavad Gita. Here it is clearly mentioned that the living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle, mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. It's inferior because it's temporary, its forms are temporary, and it's not conscious, right?
Yep.
The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. It's kind of our playground, or more accurately, our university to learn the lessons we need to learn. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not play. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's getting beat up by the bully in the playground.
I thought you were going to go into one of your horror.
Sometimes there's an executioner
in the playground. Okay, the cosmic manifestation has no power to act. All the material energy has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. It's a very different idea than a lot of what modern science is feeding us. They're saying that consciousness arises out of an adjustment in the material elements. Here it's saying, no. Nothing happens on the material level unless spirit moves it. Right? The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.87.30 as follows. 10.87.30, is that prayers of the personified Vedas, you think?
I don't know.
I think it may be. It's all these sages praying to Krishna, right? All the sages are like the personified. Maybe you could look that up. Chapter 87, Krishna book. Is that the prayers of the personified Vedas? All these sages are
someone on the message board do this.
Deeply realized, most realized intelligence in the universe are all offering these prayers to Krishna. O Supreme Eternal. Is that right, Mary? Yeah.
Let's see. Chapter 87 is the prayers of the personified Vedas.
Yeah.
Boom. You hit that one.
Pretty good.
Okay. Thank you. So these sages, they call them personified Vedas. They are the Vedas embodied in beings in these sages. Yeah, they are walking Shastra, walking scripture.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I'm a persona walking around.
What are you? I'm the Vedas.
Which one?
What are you? I'm Catcher. I'm Catcher. Prayers, the personified classics.
Okay. All right. So here's their prayer. Here's what they're saying to Krishna. Oh, Supreme Eternal. If the embodied living entities like us were eternal and all pervading like you, then they would not be under your control.
Mm-hmm.
But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they're at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation, real moksha, right, entails surrender, sweet surrender, Raghunath, loving surrender. Surrender like, oh, I've turned away from you. What was I thinking? What kind?
There's on the floor, like hands on your head, spread your legs.
Not that.
Not that type of surrender.
More like the. Sometimes there are songs written like that. There must be some that we can think of where it's like, what was I thinking all this time? You were there all along, and
Sweet surrender. I think that is.
And I so now
Sweet
I'm surrendering.
Surrender, what a night.
All right.
That's a creepy song.
Therefore, real liberation entails surrender, loving, sweet surrender by the living entities to your control. And that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position, only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are actually guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. They got it all mixed up. Okay? The Supreme Lord Krishna, now this is Prabhupada's commentary again. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme. They're both Satchidananda, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. But they're never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy or matter, the superior energy, the living entities, forget their real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains a stage called mukti, or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter, this body, right? And material acquisitions are mine. I and mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his being one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi-energies of Krishna. And when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Mysteries of the universe revealed.
Dropped on our laps.
There you go.
Amazing, huh? Hey, so that's a good, on the board, Chapu said. Chapu said it's a good verses to learn. Great
Chapter
verses.
7.
If you like to memorize verses, 7th chapter's got a lot of great ones that you can recall, pull out, fun to learn. That was the first chapter.
You got that whole chapter down pretty much, Rogo. You're just humming right along with it.
That was my first chapter I memorized.
See that?
Yeah. It's the best, one of my favorite chapters.
All right. Mara.
Ready for some takeaways?
That's right.
You ready?
You ready, Mara?
Yeah, I did.
Rogo's lost.
Ahsoka Krishna posted this picture on the message board of the Yamadutas taking the soul from.
And the Vishnu Dudas are like, stop.
That is a nightmare.
Don't let high performance Rajas take over your life.
Raghunath's lost. He's just lost in thought right now.
Yeah,
High performance Rajas. Don't let high performance Rajas take over your life.
Yeah.
High performance Sattva Krishna consciousness, not bad. That's not a bad thing.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Only a glorious single-pointed focus satisfies.
There you go.
I don't think I could be one of those guys who just sort of one of those typical sadhus under a tree. Not because I don't like sleeping under the trees. I've just been doing stuff. My whole next year is pretty much planned. I've just been planning my life away.
All right.
For my whole life. And now I just plan it away in Krishna consciousness.
Sometimes Krishna takes it away, Raghunath.
Yeah, and then you got to go under a tree or do something else and readjust.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Find your why to wake up in the morning and offer it to God.
Find the why that'll make you cry, Kastuba.
Find the why that will make you cry.
Boom!
Move forward one analysis paralysis.
Say that again. Yeah.
Move forward one step at a time from analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Analysis. You like that? You keep it if you like it.
You didn't create it, right?
I can help you.
Next.
The Supreme Lord is the horizontal and vertical cause of the cosmic manifestation.
Perpendicular and parallel.
And protum.
And
Is Gus a high performance dog?
No. Low performance dog. Barely performing dog.
Non-performance dog.
He's struggling getting up the steps.
Krishna is the thread weaving the universal fabric together.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's the weaver as well.
Yes.
The dream weaver.
I knew you were going to go there, right? I knew it.
Real liberation is sweet surrender.
Don't go there, Raghunath. Don't do it.
No, I didn't even know her name, but I knew. Who was that?
We talked about this just last week on the show. Frankie Valli.
These songs are creepy. These songs from the 70s, they've got really all these weird pedo-y, creepy things in them.
And we are warriors in the world.
We're warriors in the world.
Okay.
And that's why the Bhagavad Gita is for us. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
We got a DTG here.
Aditi's back.
Aditi,
Love
we'll
her.
bring her on. Let's say hello to Aditi.
Where is she?
Her camera's
Might be
off.
busy.
Might be,
She might be busy.
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
Where is she?
All right,
Look.
let's see.
We'll spotlight her.
Oh, look at her kid.
And the baby.
That cute little kid.
Oh, the
Hi.
baby.
And what's the baby's name?
Oh my gosh.
Gotta unmute.
Aditi's been here from the beginning of the show.
The original India correspondent.
The original.